Jimmy is playing with dynamite in Ann Arbor. Penn State is ready to roll over the Boilermakers this coming Thursday night, and this is Neal Brown's time to finally shine as the head football coach of West Virginia Mountaineers as they play this Thursday night in the backyard brawl in Pittsburgh. And we did get some intel, some interesting information, just 4 sentences, but we think it means a lot. We finally received some intel on the University of Washington's bid to become a Big Ten member. All of this on episode 24. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. Let's get into this Jim Harbaugh's decision on his starting quarterback. Many Michigan fans have politely responded to my tweets on how I think Jim Harbaugh is playing with dynamite, playing with fire, when he came up with this odd decision of what he's going to do with the starting quarterback position to begin the 2022 season. Now remember, Michigan won the Big Ten last year. They defeated Ohio State. They went to the college football playoffs with McNamara as their quarterback. Is he going to be the quarterback this year? We do not know. Let's get into this, what I consider a very dangerous decision by Jim Harbaugh. Okay? So here we go. This is an article in the Detroit News explaining Saturday night Jim Harbaugh's, how he came to this decision on starting one quarterback the first game, the other quarterback, McCarthy, the second game of the season, and deferring the decision to game 3 on who he's going to have as the starting quarterback for Michigan in the 2022 season. Michigan's quarterback, we're in the article here, Detroit News, competition is still to be decided and will play out in the upcoming games when the season opens next Saturday. In other words, there's no set starter. Although there is a plan, according to Michigan's Jim Harbaugh during an interview on the In the Trenches in-house Michigan podcast with host John Jansen that was posted Saturday night. Cade McNamara, last year's starter, will get the start in Game 1 next Saturday against Colorado State. And J.J. McCarthy, the backup as freshman last year, will be the Game 2 starter in the night game against Hawaii on September 10th. Harbaugh said on the podcast. After week 2, we'll make a decision going into week 3. Starter, backup, Harbaugh says. Okay. So, Cade McNamara will be the starter against Colorado State, and J.J. McCarthy will be the starter in Game 2 against Hawaii. Hawaii that just got blown out at home against Vanderbilt. You couldn't make the decision based upon spring play, based upon August camp play between those two quarterbacks. And now you're going to come up with the decision after Game 3 against where McNamara is starting against Colorado State and J.J. McCarthy's starting against Hawaii. That's when you make the decision. Cade McNamara was voted by his teammates to be captain. When your teammates are voting for a quarterback to be captain, that means that guy has the locker room, or most of the locker room. We all know how this works, right? There are supporters in that Michigan locker room that supports J.J. McCarthy as quarterback. There's many that support McNamara. This is all natural. But when you have one in my opinion here, this is my take. If you agree or disagree, please leave in the comments section below the video. But you got Cade McNamara, who led this team to a new high, to a new peak under Jim Harbaugh. He had a great year last year. 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He was game manager, but there was times that they needed him to make plays. Michigan needed him to make plays, and he made the plays. If everybody in that locker room knows who is supporting who, right? That's just how it is. So And everyone's going to play their best for McNamara and J.J. McCarthy in those first two games. But let's say there's a couple drop passes in that Colorado State game. Let's say a left tackle misses a block, McNamara fumbles the ball on a sack, whatever. You got a situation where now the players could start questioning each other. Right? It's a stick of dynamite. You're just throwing it into the locker room. This could split it in half. You're going to have people questioning each other. How can any play against Hawaii help J.J. McCarthy win the starting quarterback job? What, if Michigan beats Hawaii by 70? If J.J. McCarthy goes 25 for 30? Hawaii just got blitzed by Vanderbilt. This won't show anything. This is like J.J. McCarthy going against third stringers, fourth stringers in Ann Arbor in a scrimmage. What can you possibly learn more about J.J. McCarthy's play against Hawaii that you don't know already? All you're doing is creating a situation where you could split the locker room. That's my take. I don't see any benefit to this. If J.J. McCarthy is the guy that you want to go with because he is your future and he has more physical skills than McNamara, then go with him. Go with him. Make the call right now. McNamara is not going anywhere. He's a good guy. He's liked by the locker room. He led that team. He'll support J.J. McCarthy. But if you want to keep McNamara as a starter and have J.J. McCarthy come in for certain packages and get him even more experience heading into next year, then do that. But there's nothing you can learn in game one and game two. There's nothing you can learn against Colorado State and especially Hawaii that's going to make your decision easier in game three. All you're doing is adding in the potential of a big explosion in your locker room or a minor explosion in your locker room. Now, I don't like the decision by Jim Harbaugh. This is a very odd and dangerous decision. I love that team. I've got them going to the college football playoffs again this year. I loved them last year. I love them this year. I think they're a great team. I think the road is there for them to win every single one of their games except for Ohio State and get to the college football playoffs. But now Jim Harbaugh, I'm telling you, he's playing with dynamite. I know many of you disagree with me. I know many of you do agree with me. The people in Ann Arbor, they disagree with me. That's fine. Put your comments down in the comments section, and I will read them all. I will read them all, and I will comment to many of them back to you all. I just think this is a decision that should have been made already, and I don't know what you learn from playing Colorado State and Hawaii in the first 2 weeks. Okay. Penn State. I think they're going to roll. I've been saying this. A month ago, I thought Purdue was going to win the game and definitely cover the 3-point spread. Now it's 3.5-point spread. Penn State is favored by 3.5. I was 2-1 last week, and a shocking I was 2-1. I usually start out real bad, real slow, but I was 2-1 in my predictions. This week, one of my predictions will be Penn State crushing the Boilermakers at Purdue Thursday night. Nick Singleton, I'm so excited to watch this young man play. He's going to get the rock a few times. He's that true freshman, big-time recruit. They got Lee, that big starting running back. He's going to get the rock probably 25 times. Joey Porter is going to shut down Purdue's number one receiver, whoever that is. Is it Charlie Jones from Iowa? I think everything is trending towards Penn State this Thursday night. I'm looking at Penn State winning that game by 3 touchdowns. I'm all over Penn State. Reports I'm getting coming out of West Lafayette are not good for Purdue. I think they're going to struggle this year. I think they're going to take a step back. A month ago, I had them competing for the Big Ten West title. The defense is going to take a huge step back. Love their quarterback, but they lost their number one receiver because of academics. I do not think they filled the slot in well in the transfer portal. Charlie Jones is a nice player, special teams player. I got Penn State dominating Thursday night. And another game this Thursday night is West Virginia versus Pittsburgh. Backyard brawl in Pittsburgh. What? 40% of the stands is going to be filled with West Virginia fans. They're invading Pittsburgh. This Thursday night, the Mountaineers are invading Pittsburgh. And this is Neal Brown's time to shine. There's only so many opportunities to make a first impression. I know that sounds kind of weird, but in college football, you do have a few opportunities as a new head coach of a program to make that moment, to hit that, to make it happen, to strike through, to break through to the other side. The first couple years of Neal Brown's tenure at West Virginia, it's all easily explained. He came in as the head coach of that program. West Virginia didn't have that many scholarship players. The previous coaching staff left that program depleted. Neal Brown has built up the offensive line. He's built up the defensive line. And he's finally got himself a quarterback. Right? JT Daniels, the transfer, very, very good college quarterback. I think this is it for Neal Brown. This is his greatest stage. He's had some great moments in his college football career. He led a Troy football program there in Alabama. He raised that whole program up. They defeated Nebraska in Nebraska against Scott Frost. But this is his time to shine. Thursday night. It would mean so much for that program if West Virginia went in there and defeated Pittsburgh. It would mean so much to that program if they lost that game. Right? This is it. This is Neal Brown's time to break through to the other side. It would help his recruiting, help donations. It would help everything for that West Virginia program. It would raise their profile. That's been stagnant for the last few years. I think West Virginia is going to cover. I think they're going to cover that 7-point spread. I'll have more on it later this week when we really break down those Thursday night games. But this is it for Neal Brown. This is his opportunity. And I think West Virginia is going to do it. Now, we received some intel on the University of Washington. We received it from BTM. If you don't know who BTM is and his associates, you can go back to our previous episodes on Peek Around the Corner. You can go back and watch the episode called something like Ducks, Husky, and Cardinal, Oh My, when they talk about those three programs, how all those three programs could become new Big Ten members. If you want, you can go back to the pinned tweet on my Twitter account @FlugEmpire, and you can read the article about the Los Angeles Times in regards to information we have received from BTM in the past. Okay, let's get to it on this University of Washington intel that we received. It's just 4 simple sentences that we received. I'm going to read them back verbatim to you all. Just 4 sentences, and you might, oftentimes people say, Greg, you're reading too much into it. No, oftentimes I believe other people are not reading enough into the information that we give out. And let me make one point before we get into this. This is the first time. We've been covering this Big Ten expansion, this new Big Ten, this new vision of Kevin Warren for months. You can go back into our first episode of Peek Around the Corner that was done August 10th, called The World Has Changed. That's basically our manifesto. You can watch that one and explain why all this is happening. You can go back to the Los Angeles Times article. You can go back to our tweets in March and April and to our little videos on Twitter, and explains why this is happening. But all that information of USC going to the Big Ten, USC calling the Big Ten, that was all leaked outside of Big Ten. That was leaked from Los Angeles. This information, this new intel that we received, this came from an actual Big Ten employee of a Big Ten university. Not from the University of Minnesota. a different university, an employee. This actually came from Big Ten, okay? Not outside, inside. That's why we're taking it so strongly. How did BTM and Associates get these 4 sentences? Can't say. You can take this information however you want to take it. This is up to you. But I'm passing it along. We hear often. Since we started this show on August 10th, people have been asking, when are you going to get new BTM intel? When is the new BTM intel? We get a lot of stuff, but a lot of it, 99% of it, you all wouldn't have any interest in. It's just talk about minor things that none of you would be interested in. This, I believe you all would have interest in. Take it how you want it. Okay? Here are the 4 sentences. A Big Ten official at a university, an employee of a Big Ten university, said this to in regards to the University of Washington's trying to become a Big Ten member, to somebody that BTM's associates know. That's about the best I can tell you. These were the 4 sentences from this Big Ten official in regards to the University of Washington. Easy to understand, simple to digest, easy to rally around, double dip scheduling is opened up. I'm going to repeat those 4 sentences and then we're going to break it down. Easy to understand, simple to digest, easy to rally around, double dip scheduling is opened up. So, the easy to understand, simple to digest, those 2 sentences for us means the same thing. It's easy to understand why the University of Washington would be wanted by the Big Ten. Right? The market, Seattle, the University of Washington is a huge research school. Everything we've talked about previously, everything you all have talked about previously. Easy to understand, simple to digest, why Washington very well could become a member of the Big Ten. Easy to rally around is something that is something that kind of shouted out to us. Easy to rally around. In other words, this Big Ten official says University of Washington is easy to rally around, and we believe that it's easy to rally around inside the Big Ten. In other words, they've had discussions, and the discussions of University of Washington has been positive. Has been very, very positive. Easy to rally around. Consensus was built very quickly. Easy to understand, simple to digest, easy to rally around. Use the word easy twice, simple once. Easy to understand, simple to digest, easy to rally around. The big one is easy to rally around. That means this Big Ten official, who's an employee of a university in the Big Ten, either knows or perceives to know that there was some discussion and rally around of a potential candidate of the University of Washington, and it was easily achieved that that's one of the schools that they're targeting and that they would want. Easy to rally around. The last part of this is double dip scheduling is opened up. We have no idea what that means. When we first heard it, we talked to a bunch of people. Double dip scheduling. Double dip scheduling. What was told to us, what that could potentially mean, is double dip scheduling. University of Minnesota softball team, for example, goes and plays a doubleheader at the University of Washington on a Friday, on a Saturday, plays a doubleheader against Oregon on a Sunday. That's double dip scheduling. Softball, baseball, Double dip scheduling is opened up. I wish we had more words to explain all that. Wish we had more of an explanation. The word double dip scheduling, I've never heard of that. But that's what was told to us when we asked around what that potentially could mean. Does that make sense? Sports, not baseball. Would that work for basketball? Would you play a basketball game in Oregon on a Monday and play another game on a Wednesday against Washington and just stay over there in the Northeast? I do not know. Double dip scheduling is opened up. Really interesting. Could be really important. But this is the first time, other than the first time where we've gotten any information from anybody in the Big Ten in regards to any of this expansion, except for a couple days after when UCLA and USC joined the Big Ten on June 30th. A couple days after that, we did receive information, and when we shared it multiple times during July and August, that Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and of course Notre Dame were the targets of the Big Ten. They were focusing on those schools, and that August 15th and October 15th was the hot window. Besides that information, this is the first specific information we received from a Pacific Big Ten expansion candidate from somebody in the Big Ten, other than the boosters, the money perch, right? That whole thing. Something was told to us, or one to our associates, or somebody that our associates know. Something was told to them specifically from a Big Ten official in regards to a specific Big Ten expansion candidate, and that was the University of Washington. I thought this was important enough to pass it on to you. You can take it however you want to take it. Again, it was just 4 simple sentences. Easy to understand, simple to digest, easy to rally around. Double dip scheduling is opened up. We're going to stay on this story of potential Big Ten expansion. This story is not going away anytime soon. So we're going to be on it here at Peek Around the Corner, and hopefully we can give you more information. But it's hard to know. It's hard to know when this stuff comes in. It's hard to know which we should take seriously or not. This one, definitely we're taking it seriously. And I think you all should too. But that is up to you. Please leave the comments in the comments section below this video. Please, if your opinion is this means nothing or it means everything, let us know. Please hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. We haven't even existed for 3 weeks yet, and we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's incredible, the growth of this channel, and it's all because of you. We appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. Until next time, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.